Here back at the Fantasy Bar talking some Week 4 main slate. 6 of my favorite plays for you on FanDuel and DraftKings, including one game I really want to get some exposure to with some value and some guys that may go under-owned. A rookie running back I am eyeing up, and maybe not the one that you are expecting. A couple wide receivers in some great spots, and of course, my favorite play on the entire slate. Who we talking about? Only one way to find out. It's time to belly up to the Fantasy Bar. Welcome in, everybody. Week 4 edition of the Six Pack, talking FanDuel and DraftKings main slate. 6 guys fresh off the tap for you. Thank you, as always, for stopping by the Fantasy Bar and checking out this week's video. Before we get to those plays, do me a favor, take a second and hit the tip jar here on this free video. That is simply clicking that thumbs up button. You guys have been crushing it. Let's see if we can set a season high there. Thank you for that. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content. All right, week 3 recap. Great bounce back week for us. Kenneth Walker finding the end zone twice. Rome Odunze finding the end zone. Our May and Henry pairing absolutely smashed. Keenan Allen finding the end zone. And our beast of the week, Jonathan Taylor, with the trifecta, 3 touchdowns. Congrats to our beast of the week contest winners. Your shot to win that prize coming up at the end of the video. All right, let's get into week 4 here, and let's start at the wide receiver position with Deebo Samuel of Washington. So I really like the spot for Washington. We'll see if Jaden Daniels is in. Obviously, a great boon to this offense, but even if it's Marcus Mariota here, I think we're going to get some recency bias on Deebo Samuel. Washington scores a ton of points last week. Didn't really do much. Well, they didn't have to do much in that game, and McLaurin looking like he may miss this week. In fact, he may miss multiple weeks here. Moving Deebo Samuel up a peg here in the pass catcher pecking order here. And like we mentioned, Washington didn't have to really do a lot last week, and they're going to continue to utilize him in this kind of Swiss Army knife role. Austin Eckler also out, so he's going to see touches out of the backfield. We got a big total here, and this game should be competitive. I know Atlanta dropped a dud last week, but I think they bounced back here. We got a 1.5 point spread, solid total at 45.5 here, and A.J. Terrell looking iffy on the other side, so that would obviously improve this matchup here. But all the ways they want to get this guy the football, I think Deebo Samuel bounces back in a big way at low ownership here in week 4. Let's go to the running back position next. We're going to give you a rookie. There are many to choose from, and I think many will be much more popular than this one. We're going with Treyvon Henderson of New England. Now, I get it. Everyone's excited about Amari and Hampton, Cam Scatabo, plenty of rookies that you can get in your lineups. I have no issues with any of those plays, and this one, not for everybody. I certainly get the concern, but I love these high-risk, high-reward plays, and a guy I am certainly getting into my lineups here this week. Now, Ramondre Stevenson, Antonio Gibson, 3 fumbles in that game last week, and it was Henderson who dominated the fourth quarter snaps, usage, routes for the New England Patriots, and they could go right back to what they were doing. Again, I understand the concerns, and this is not a slam dunk play, no doubt. I would save this one for your tournament lineups, but we know the upside that Treyvon Henderson has. Flashed it in the preseason. We saw it plenty at Ohio State, and it doesn't get much better than the matchup with the Carolina Panthers. They were the best matchup last season, giving up over 32 DraftKings points per game. Already this season, we're seeing them in the bottom 12 in rushing yards, receptions, receiving yards. Obviously, the 2 keys to Treyvon Henderson's game is that pass catching ability, along with fantasy points to running back. So to sum it all up, not a play for everybody, but I love the risk here. I love the potential reward and the potential ceiling here with Treyvon Henderson against the Carolina Panthers. All right, to the quarterback position next, and we are rolling with Daniel Jones of the Colts. So Jonathan Taylor, huge for us last week. This week, I want to go to the passing game in this matchup. I think we get a ton of points in this game. We got a 49.5 point total here between the Colts and the Rams. Lots of affordable ways to stack him as well. I think there's some great choices here, and well, we may add one here in the video here shortly. And obviously the Rams on the other side, very consolidated between Puka, Adams, and Kyren Williams. So plenty of ways that you can run back a stack here with Daniel Jones. You can even run him out there naked with his rushing ability. The Rams really struggled with QBs last season, bottom 10 in passing yards, touchdown passes, and fantasy points allowed. Numbers look better this week, but let's be honest, they faced one good quarterback, and that was last week in Jalen Hurts, who has a similar skill set to Daniel Jones, just saying. And Hurts absolutely put some numbers on this team here. So we've seen Daniel Jones put up some big games already. Didn't have to do a ton last week. I think we get back to the big numbers in the ceiling game from Daniel Jones. All right, let's pair him with my favorite pairing on the Colts, and that is tight end Tyler Warren. As we mentioned, quite a few ways you could go here. Michael Pittman in play as well. Buy low on Josh Downs, but it's Warren I want to go to, who's just been seeing a ton of targets in this offense, averaging 7 targets per game, and we haven't seen his ceiling yet. We know the ceiling this guy has. We've seen some solid games. I think a ceiling game coming sooner rather than later, so I want to be out ahead of that here. This Colts offense been one of the best in the entire league, averaging over 34 points per game here. As I mentioned, big 49.5 point total in this game, and the Rams really struggled with tight ends last season. Bottom 4 in receptions, receiving yards, and fantasy points allowed. Again, this season the numbers aren't as alarming. They really haven't faced many good tight ends yet, so not putting a ton of stock in that. Love what I'm seeing out of Tyler Warren here. Get that pairing in your lineup. Danny Dimes and Tyler Warren. All right, one more play from that game at wide receiver with Davante Adams of the Rams. So no issues with Puka Nacua. I have Puka Nacua in plenty of lineups here, but if you want to pivot, you want to get a little bit different, you can play both of these guys in the same lineup in this game. But Adams a lot cheaper here and going to get a nice discount on ownership as well. So don't forget about him in your tournament builds. Maybe you can't get to Nacua. Maybe you're looking for a way to get different here. This guy has seen 8 targets in every single game this season, averaging nearly 10 targets per game, and leads the entire NFL in end zone targets this year. So some of the numbers have been great. There's room for more. They've left some meat on the bone here with Davante Adams, top 10 in the entire NFL in both target share and air yards. You're not paying that kind of salary for Davante Adams for those kind of numbers. As we talked about with Tyler Warren, I think that ceiling game coming sooner rather than later. This is a great environment here and a good matchup with the Colts. Davante Adams, one of my favorite receivers for week 4. All right, it's time. Take a look at my favorite play for week 4. Before we do that, let's give away another free month of RotoGrinders Premium with our free Beast of the Week contest. Very easy, very simple. All you need to do, make sure you've hit that tip jar and click that thumbs up button. Head to the comment section and guess fantasy points for my Beast of the Week on DraftKings. Your guess is the closest. Simple as that. You're going to walk away with a free month of RotoGrinders Premium. While you're down there, who is your Beast of the Week? Who is your top play? I'd love to hear your guys. If you were 10 in the bar, who is your first guy you're putting in your lineups? Sound off in that YouTube comment section. All right, let's get to my favorite play for week 4. You know, Matt's the Beast of the Week. All right, Beast time. We owe you one more running back, and we are rolling with James Cook of Buffalo, this week's Beast of the Week. So a huge smash spot here for James Cook. Buffalo 16.5 point home favorites against the New Orleans Saints. I get the concerns. They pulled this team out. James Cook comes out of the game. I think this guy can do enough in 2 or 3 quarters to smash this salary. Has been phenomenal this season. Over 100 total yards in every single game and has scored in every single game. 4 total touchdowns for him on the season. This is just a great matchup. New Orleans, 7th most DraftKings points allowed last season to running backs, and they are at that exact same spot through the first 3 weeks in 2025. 7th most fantasy points allowed on DraftKings to running backs. I think James Cook puts multiple touchdowns on the board, goes over 100 yards again, and was shocked at his ownership being so low here. I think that may trend up a little bit, but for now, looks like a great option with that salary, that matchup, and this ownership. James Cook, easily my favorite play on the board in this week's Beast of the Week. All right, guys, that'll do it for our Week 4 six-pack. As always, you got any comments, questions, feedback, whatever you guys want to talk about, that comment section is for you. I'll be checking it all throughout the week, so make sure you get your guess in on James Cook's DraftKings points for a shot to win a free month of RotoGrinders Premium. And who is your Beast of the Week? Who is your top play? Would love to hear it in the YouTube comment section. Pints and picks will be coming as well. 2 prop bets I absolutely love in the NFL this weekend. Make sure you check that out. Quick 1-minute video for RotoGrinders.com. I am Beer saying salut, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Best of luck in week 4, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for checking out our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more DraftKings, FanDuel, and other DFS content. And you can check out our daily live show schedule on RotoGrinders.com/videos.